I've just seen the show Art Deco, the triumph of modernity, and it was an incredible experience in that it laid out some of the key thematics of the rise of modernism. And I think some of the themes of the show that I was so appreciative of to do with questions of industrialization, new materials, the role of the female, a number of themes that tied throughout the show that I thought were extraordinary. First, think about the show in relation to a term that's a portmanteau called Beautility. So this question of beauty and utility and how those two themes come together in this period right after the turn of the century, which I think is so important. So in some ways, there was a false dichotomy between the idea that something was either beautiful or useful. And I think in so many of the objects throughout the show, you see this idea of beautility. Another theme that I saw throughout the show was a theme about the autonomy of femininity, and that for me was a very interesting theme. In the Art Nouveau period that preceded the Art Deco, there was very much a conflation of the female figure with the domestic interior, and what you see in the Art Deco depictions of females across the ceramics, the paintings, furniture, and objects is a sense of autonomy and a modern androgynous feminist identity that's emerging from the work. And I think it was extraordinary to see that across the numerous objects and paintings within the exhibition. The last theme that I thought was really interesting to see thread its way through the show was to do with the streamlining of form and the emergence of geometry as a figure. So this played itself out in many ways. Last night I was looking at a diagram that Raymond Loewy did about this period. He did it in 1934, and he looked at the ways in which forms became increasingly streamlined across the Art Deco period. And when I was looking at the works in the exhibition today, the beautiful line of the works, the ways in which the figures are moving more towards abstraction and a sinuous line was really striking, and it really reminded me of this idea about the evolution of design. I think there's some influence from Cubism in a number of the pieces in the show, and this sense of seeing things from multiple perspectives simultaneously that fed an idea of the geometric backgrounds that you see in many of the Art Deco objects and paintings and ceramic pieces. So there was something really beautiful about the fact that geometry was once something to be seen through, and in the Art Deco it becomes something that is seen in and of itself as a kind of strong figure in the period.